In a world that feels more fragmented and polarized than ever, it's pretty clear that our old ways of thinking about leadership, well, they just aren't cutting it anymore. So, what if we had a new blueprint? A whole new ethical framework, actually designed for the challenges we're facing right now. That is exactly what we are going to explore today.
This quote right here really gets to the heart of it all. What it's saying is it's not enough for leaders to just be good at their jobs, to be technically skilled. They need something much deeper. They need moral imagination. And that's the ability to really see the humanity in everyone and to imagine what a better, more flourishing world could actually look like. So, how do we get there? How do we help our leaders develop that kind of imagination? Well, let's take a look at this new blueprint. And I want you to remember, this isn't just some checklist of virtues. The source material presents this as a complete ethical architecture, a structure designed specifically for our modern times.
And this, right here, is the core of the problem we're trying to solve. We're dealing with these massive, tangled issues, polarization, environmental stress, you name it. But the ethical models that are guiding our leaders, they often feel like they're from a different era, totally focused on narrow ideas like profit or power. There's this huge gap between the problems we have and the tools we're using to fix them.
And here it is. This is the Benefit Framework. It's an acronym, so each letter stands for a core value: benevolence, empathy, nonviolence, equity, flourishing, integrity, and transparency. But as you can see from this Lotus logo, these aren't just 7 separate ideas. They're designed to be totally interconnected, like the petals of a flower, all part of one holistic system.
Now, every strong building needs a solid foundation, right? For this ethical architecture, that foundation is built on 2 key principles that together create truth and build trust. Let's break those down.
The very first block in our foundation is integrity. And this is so much more than just not lying. The source material talks about it as a kind of wholeness, a deep, authentic alignment between what a leader says they value, the words they speak, and the things they actually do. It's all about moral consistency, even when it's tough.
Now this is really interesting because the framework splits integrity into 2 parts. On one side, you have truth-seeking, which is the hard work of trying to see the world as it really is, without your own biases getting in the way. And on the other side, you have truth-speaking, which is having the moral courage to share that reality even when it's uncomfortable or has a personal cost. You can't have real integrity without both.
The second block in our foundation is transparency. This is pretty straightforward. It's all about openness. It means leaders are clear about their intentions, why they're making certain decisions, and what the likely impacts will be. It's the ultimate antidote to corruption, because when everything's out in the open, it's a lot harder for bad things to hide in the shadows. It makes real accountability possible.
So here's the key takeaway. When you put integrity and transparency together, you get this incredibly stable ethical foundation. This is what protects leadership from corruption and self-dealing, and it reinforces this crucial idea that leadership isn't a right, it's a public trust.
Okay, so we've got our foundation in place. Now let's build on it. We're moving up to what the framework calls the moral heart. These are the 3 core values that really guide a leader's day-to-day actions and decisions. First up is benevolence. And this isn't some vague, fuzzy feeling of being nice. No, it's an active disposition. It is the conscious, deliberate choice to use your power and your influence for the good of other people, to seek their welfare, not just your own. It's really the core moral purpose of this entire framework.
Next, we have empathy. And if benevolence is the goal, empathy is the tool that makes it possible. It's the ability to genuinely try to understand where other people are coming from, their feelings, their experiences. Think about someone like Nelson Mandela. He used this very skill to bridge what seemed like impossible divides, because he put in the work to understand the hopes and fears of everyone involved.
The third part of this moral heart is nonviolence. And it is so important to understand that this isn't about being passive. It's a proactive commitment to upholding the dignity of others. It's a refusal to cause harm, whether that's physical, psychological, or even organizational. It's the disciplined kind of strength you saw in leaders like Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr.
So what does organizational violence actually look like in the real world? Well, it's often way more subtle than you'd think. It can be humiliating someone in a meeting or excluding them from important conversations. It can be creating a culture of toxic competition or just shutting down any real dialogue. A nonviolent leader works actively to build a culture where people are lifted up, not torn down.
So you can really see how these 3 values just lock together perfectly to form that moral heart. Benevolence gives you the purpose to do good. Empathy gives you the perspective, so you can understand what good actually means to other people. And nonviolence gives you the process. It ensures you use your power with respect and dialogue, not force.
All right, we've built the foundation and the moral heart. So what's the point of all this? What is this entire ethical building trying to achieve? Well, the framework offers a really powerful aspirational goal, creating a flourishing world.
The first pillar of that goal is equity. And it's really important to distinguish this from simple equality. Equity isn't about giving everyone the same thing. It's about recognizing that not everyone starts from the same place. It requires leaders to actively find and dismantle the systemic barriers that hold people back. A leader like Harriet Tubman is a perfect example. She didn't just ask for fairness, she took direct action to break down an unjust system. And that brings us to the very peak of our structure, flourishing. This is a huge idea, going all the way back to the ancient Greek concept of eudaimonia. It's the ultimate goal, creating a world where people and communities can reach their absolute fullest potential. The goal isn't just about profit or stability, it's about deep, holistic well-being for everyone.
So you can see that equity and flourishing are really two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. Equity is what clears the path by removing all the unfair obstacles, and flourishing is the destination at the end of that path, a world where everyone truly has the chance to live a full and meaningful life. It's a powerful vision for the common good. Okay, let's step back and bring it all together. We have built our entire ethical architecture, from that solid foundation of trust, up through the moral heart of principled action, all the way to the inspiring goal of a flourishing world. Let's do a quick recap of how all these pieces fit together to create a powerful, cohesive system.
This slide sums it up perfectly. Benevolence sets the purpose. Empathy expands your understanding. Nonviolence guides your actions. Equity is how you secure justice. Flourishing is the ultimate aspiration. And holding it all together is that foundation. Integrity for moral consistency and transparency to guarantee accountability. See, every single piece has a vital role to play. So why does any of this matter? What's the big deal? Well, adopting a framework like this isn't just some academic exercise. It has real, tangible, transformative potential. We're talking about rebuilding trust in our institutions, making our workplaces more humane, and strengthening the very fabric of our society by offering a powerful alternative to leadership based on fear or division.
And that really brings us to the final thought. The benefit framework challenges us to completely rethink what leadership is even for. So I'll leave you with this one question from the source material to really chew on. What would change? What would our world look like in our companies, in our communities, in our countries, if our leaders aimed not for their own power, but for human flourishing?